And welcome back to Victory Yard here at Classic Sports Network, everybody. I'm Bill Patrick. He's Jim Bouton, author of Ball 4, former Major League hurler. We'll get into that in a moment. You're about to see Game 1 of a classic World Series. The year was 1968. The Tigers facing off against the Cardinals. 1968 was, of course, the year of the pitcher. That's the year that everything was down except for the mound. I mean, runs scored, down. Batting averages, ERA, attendance. And the two stars that year were Denny McLain and Bob Gibson. Bob Gibson for the Cardinals, 22-9, 1.12 ERA. McLain won 31 games that year. His ERA, 1.96. They were both unanimous Cy Young Award winners, and they also won the MVPs in their respective leagues. Now, Jim, 1968, your ERA was what easily under 2, right? Where were you?
No, I was not. I was out to lunch for the year of the pitcher. My earned run average, I think, was over 4, maybe even over 5. The Yankees sold me that year. Early in the year, they sold me to the Seattle Pilots. That did not come into existence until '69. So the Pilot guys who were accumulating at the AAA team out in Seattle called the Seattle Rainier. And I didn't like the fact that it was the year of the pitcher. I wanted all those earned run averages to go up so that my 4.2 or whatever it was would look pretty good by comparison.
So
but
it wasn't necessarily the height of the mound then.
No, it had nothing to do with that.
All right. Now let's talk about the height going into this World Series. McLain, Gibson, could it be overstated?
I don't think so. McLain had the most wins, 31 wins. That's the most anybody had won in the modern era of baseball, going all the way back to Dizzy Dean. And Gibson, of course, was building his reputation from earlier World Series victories, beating us in 1964 in Game 7. The great World Series where Johnny Keane left Gibson in. Even though we were scoring off of them, the Cardinals were leading 7-5, and the reporters went to Keane after the game and said, "Why did you leave Gibson in that game?" And he said, "I had a commitment to his heart," which I liked. Wow,
you're about to see that in action. The matchup was set. The two best pitchers in baseball facing each other in the first game of the World Series. Could Gibson's gas stymie the big bats of the Tigers, or would McLain make much out of the toothpicks the Cards were swinging? Sit back and enjoy as we take you to Busch Stadium for Game 1 of the 1968 World Series.
Bob Gibson, who if he wins today would become the first National League pitcher to ever win 6 World Series games. Jack Coombs won 5, Three Finger Brown won 5, Christy Mathewson, the 5-game winner in the World Series. The Major League record for most series victories belongs to Whitey Ford, who won 10. Gibson has won 5 World Series games in a row, 2 in '64 and 3 last year. So he's shooting for several records today. And facing him from Avon, Connecticut, Dick McCullough, who led all the Major League second basemen in homers this year with 16. He has good power for an infielder. He's averaged 15 homers in his last 5 years. McCullough, Stanley, and Kaline. McCullough wound the season up hitting .249. They're playing him a couple of strides toward right. And the first pitch of the World Series is a ball. McCullough has probably the oddest stance. He looks uncomfortable at the plate of any of the batters that you'll see in the World Series. Notice how he holds his bat. A strike, 1-1 now. He's a slasher. Very aggressive at the plate. And he hits line drives to all fields. The 1-1 pitch. Ball 2. 2-1 to Dick McCullough. The 2-1 pitch. Pop foul over toward the seats and drifting out of play. That's the Tiger dugout, third base way, and the Cardinals are at first. Bob Gibson will be 33 years old in November. Born and lives in Omaha, Nebraska. They gave him a day there last year after the '67 World Series. former basketball player with the Harlem Globetrotters, a tremendous all-around athlete. The 2-2 pitch to McCullough. He struck him out. Gibson gets his first man. And aside from McLean and Gibson right now, here's the boy that's the talk of the series, Mickey Stanley. The best defensive center fielder in the American League, who is going to be a shortstop today. Foul off. Harry, I think you could really call this the Gibson lineup for the Tigers. They're trying to get an extra bat in there against Gibson. He's hard to score on. They figure by moving Stanley to the infield, K-line in right, they'll have a little bit better batting lineup. And it's really a Bob Gibson lineup.
They try to get as much hitting as possible against him.
That's the breaking pitch of Gibson. 1 ball, 1 strike.
One of the really audacious moves of World Series history, and Mayo Smith deserves a lot of credit. It takes courage to make a move like that going into a World Series.
And, of course, it's put a lot of pressure on this fella, Mickey Stanley. 2-1. Mickey Stanley was born in Grand Rapids. He lives in Birmingham, Michigan. He's a fellow that has improved himself year by year. At the plate, he's always been a good defensive player. Swinging at a bad pitch, 2-2. He's changed his stance several times. He'll hit behind the runners. He'll go to the opposite field. And he's hit a respectable .259 this year. The 2-2 pitch to Stanley. Fastball is foul out of play. Gibson poured that one in there. That's his quickest pitch of the game. One factor that Gibson and McLean have in common, tremendous competitors on that mound. They refuse to give in to the hitter. The 2-2 pitch, just a little bit low. 3-2 now.
Boy, that's a great shot right there, Kurt, isn't it?
They can see it all from there. Full count to Mickey Stanley. 1 out, nobody on. There's a line drive in a left field in front of Brock. There's the first base hit of the series. Stanley's on. And Al Kaline, who has been an outstanding performer with the Tigers for 16 years, has always had the dream of playing in a World Series and realizes his goal right now as he steps in. K-Line injured several times this year, out a month with a fractured bone in his arm. There goes the runner. The throw down, and Stanley is out. Javier takes the pass.
Let's watch the play again in slow motion. McCarver got the ball away mighty fast. There's Javier. Now watch the tag. Beautifully done.
Well, the Tigers are starting a center fielder, a shortstop. They run the first time they get a man on. 1-1.
Kurt, at throws, they're not playing a scared hand. They're aggressive.
K-Line still wound up as the leading hitter of the Tigers this year, batting .287. They're deep and a step or two toward left for him. And the 1-1 pitch. Foul back. 1 ball, 2 strikes to K-Line. 2 down, nobody on. First inning, no score. The 1-2 pitch. High. Slider. 2-2. K-Line hit .368 from the middle of August until the windup of the season.
Come on, Bob.
This boy never played a day in the minor league. Born in Baltimore. The 2-2 pitch. Struck him out on a good curveball. Well, Gibson has him out of there in the top of the first. No runs, 1 hit, there were no errors, and nobody left. Middle of the first inning, the score, the Tigers nothing, the Cardinals are coming to bat.
This ESPN Classic presentation is brought to you by Pennzoil with Pure Base, made for the way you drive. Stop, go, Pennzoil.
Hey! He's in the garage.
Hey!
If you're going to have a garage, have a garage. And if you're going to use an oil, use an oil. Pennzoil with Pure Base, specially formulated for stop-and-go driving.
Like what I've done with the place? Hey, what does this do?
Well, that opens up the roof so I can airlift anything in or out of the garage.
Wow. Stop. Go. Pennzoil. And now with Gum Out Extra, you can drive your fuel injectors clean in one tank full.
You know, Kenny and I never compare statistics.
Or Super Bowls.
That way we can drink our Miller Lights without arguing. Right, Mr. Fewer career touchdown passes than me?
Right, Mr. Never Been to the Big One.
We only talk about why Miller Lite tastes great.
It's the choice hops.
No, Snake. Miller Lite tastes great because it's smooth. But let's not fight.
Yeah, you're right. Let's be friends.
Table ready for Mr. I don't have as many passing yards as Dan Fouts?
Hey, that's you.
Miller Lite. Taste the true Pilsner.
Dandruff, scratching, itching. Introducing new Neutrogena T-Gel Stubborn Itch Control with cooling menthol you feel on contact. Unlike self-control, it works. Ask any dermatologist.
The Outback has finally come to town. Introducing the Subaru Outback Sedan. A completely new kind of car that combines the rugged traction and control of full-time all-wheel drive with a decidedly uptown look.
Icon in town.
Outback Sedan, yet another first from Subaru.
Now get Touched by Love, a new 36-song collection of the most popular soft rock hits.
I love you. I honestly love you.
Sometimes when we touch, you'll feel the magic of love in every song. Touched by Love is not sold in stores, so order now. Call toll-free now for Touched by Love. 2 cassettes $19.98, 2 CDs $26.98, plus $4.95 shipping. Call now.
My new book shows you 15,000 government programs you could use to change your life, too. You can get a better job, get an education, or start your own business. Next year, the government's going to spend $350 billion, and those who know about the programs are the ones who get the money.
If I could get $15,000 to go back to school, any woman could do it.
Call 1-800-883-5995.
On the next Chap One-on-One, his students have won every Grand Slam title possible.
You make me sound as if I've done a lot of things in my life.
The most successful coach in tennis history, Nick Bollettieri, his most intimidating student.
So you'd been coaching for about a third of a century, and you were still afraid of him?
Oh, I was still afraid of him. Yes, sir.
Devoting himself full-time to Agassi.
When Courier was doing so well, did you ever think you had made a mistake by going with Andre?
And the woman he picks as #1.
Pound for pound, she's the best.
Bollettieri, Chap One-on-One, tomorrow at 6:30 only on ESPN Classic.
This is ESPN Classic.
31-game winner Denny McLain will face Lou Brock. And here's a study of McLain. His delivery. He's compact. He's powerful. He has good control. And here's another look at him. Lou Brock getting a hand. Don Wirtz in on him at third. Shortstop and second baseman have to come in a couple of steps. What a World Series this fella had last year. He opened the series at Fenway Park. First batter up in the series, had a base hit and then stole second on the first pitch to the next batter. And that set the pattern for Brock and the Cardinals. He broke the all-time World Series record for stolen bases. Wound up hitting over 400 in the series.
He likes to go after the first pitch, Kurt.
Let's see what he does here with McLain. Ball one. McLain, fastball pitcher, came up with a slider this year. Uses the changeup. Has that calf always pulled down low over his eyes. 1-1 to Lou Brock. And you know, Harry, he was playing the organ last night at 11:30 in one of the lounges there, entertaining some of his teammates. He's quite an organ player.
A better pitcher, though.
He'll argue with you on that. A 1-1 pitch. Inside, ball 2. 2-1 to Brock. Brock finished strong this year. He had nagging injuries early in the season. He wound up hitting .279. Led his league with 62 stolen bases. Led the league in triples. Ground ball to short. Mickey Stanley with his first chance. Throws him out. That'll help Stanley. He's got that first one out of the way.
You'd think that Brock deliberately tried to test him on the very first man up.
Curt Flood. Flood, the most consistent Cardinal batter this year, wound up hitting .301. 5 homers, 60 runs batted in. Ball 1. McLean is a high ball pitcher, except when he comes sidearm. Then his fastball sinks, but you'll see him up around the letters and the shoulders with his fastball a lot. There's that high one, and the ball sails and takes off. 1 ball, 1 strike. Foul back. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Curt Flood. No score. Last of the first inning. Coaching at first for the Cardinals is Dick Sisler, and over at third, Joe Schultz. Flood is being played straight away. He hits to all fields. Now, you notice he dropped down a little bit with his delivery that time. That's what he's been doing this year to right-handers. Ball 2, strike 2 to Curt Flood. The 2-2 pitch is hit foul into the stands down the right field line. Denny McLain's 31 victories, the most by a major league pitcher since 1931, when Lefty Grove won 31 with the Philadelphia Athletics. McLain started with the White Sox in '62. Was picked up by the Tigers on waivers in 1963. Quite a pickup by them. Fly ball to right field. Al Kaline in the shadows in the corner. 2 down. And playing his last World Series, he finished his last regular season. He's retiring after this series. Roger Maris getting a big hand from the crowd. They had a day for Roger here on Sunday at the end of the season. He wound up hitting .255 this year with 5 homers, 45 RBIs. Two down, nobody on, no score. It's the breaking pitch to right field. Kaline waiting for it. That's it. McLain breezes through. And at the end of the first inning, the score, the Tigers nothing and the Cardinals nothing.
What sets some people apart gives them the confidence to succeed on their own terms. It's no secret, it's the Wall Street Journal. Now you can have that confidence delivered for 13 weeks at just $36.75, just 57 cents a day. That's a 25% savings off our regular rate, which makes now a great time to try this limited time offer. Call now, 800-443-1900. That's 800-443-1900 for the Wall Street Journal.
Do you like to draw, or paint, or maybe just sketch and doodle? Well, if you do, chances are you have the interest needed to become a serious art student. To find out, simply call toll-free, and Art Instruction Schools will send you this enjoyable art test. There's no cost or obligation. Take the test at home in your spare time and mail it to us when you're done. Our experts will review and grade your test. Call our toll-free number today for your free art test. Don't let the wonderful world of art pass you by. To get your free art test without cost or obligation, call this toll-free number. Don't delay. Call this toll-free number now. Call 1-800-883-5995. That's 1-800-883-5995.
Tomorrow on ESPN at 6 Sports Center, at 7 Up Close, at 8 the Kings Penguins, and at 11 Sports Center. On ESPN2 at 7 RPM tonight, at 7:30 NFL Tonight, at 8 Sports Center of the Decade, and at 10 Sports Century Athlete number 14. And on ESPN Classic at 9 Sugar Ray's Hit Parade, and at 10 Big Fights Boxing Hour. Do you have all the ESPN networks?
Dandruff? Scratching? Itching? Introducing new Neutrogena T-Gel Stubborn Itch Control with cooling menthol you feel on contact. Unlike self-control, it works. Ask any dermatologist.
At Invesco, we know that the financial world isn't always as it seems. The big economic picture can always change quickly. And to manage a fund, Invesco knows you need to be on top of the changing picture and know how it might affect you right at home. To learn more about aggressive growth opportunities with the Invesco Endeavor Fund, call your financial advisor or Invesco. You should know what Invesco knows.
This is ESPN Classic.
Norman Cash, Willie Horton, Jim Northrup up for the Tigers in the second. Curveball is over for a strike. Cash is the only Tiger starter with previous World Series experience. He was up 4 times as a pinch hitter with the White Sox in 1959. Low to him a ball. And this fella had a great last half of the season. He wound up hitting .263, 25 homers, 63 RBIs. Most of his hitting was done in the second half. Foul back. Born in Justisburg, Texas, lives now in El Dorado, Texas. They're deep and toward right for him. Normally a pull hitter to right field. A 1-2 pitch to Cash. Struck him out on a blazing fastball. Third strikeout for Gibson. Gibson has had an outstanding strikeout record in the World Series. Coming into this game, he had struck out 57 men in 54 innings. That's the strikeout an inning, Harry. One out, nobody on. The power man of the Tigers. They have quite a few of them down through that lineup. Willie Horton takes a strike. Horton hit .285, 36 homers, 85 RBIs. They're deep and toward left for him. Going around in the fastball, strike 2. Horton finished second. And the message from Commissioner Ecker, hoping that you enjoy the game. And we do too, and the entire series. One out, nobody on, no score, top of the second. Curveball. He's got a great curve today, Harry.
Yes, he has, and it's pretty hard to distinguish between his curveball and his slider, Kurt. That one exploded. A year ago against the Red Sox in the first game of the series, Gibson had struck out 4. Watch this ball break. Right over that outside corner. Yes, he's got a good one going.
He has now struck out 4 of the first 5 batters he's faced. Jim Northrup's up. Northrup takes the fastball. Strike 1 on him. Northrup, born in Breckenridge, Michigan, lives in Detroit. Northrup hitting .264 for the year, 21 homers, 90 RBIs. He has some big hits. Strike 2. Bob Gibson had an almost incredible record this year. He didn't win as many games as McLean, but he led the majors in shutouts with 13. finished with the lowest earned run average in the history of the National League. A ball, 1-2. Wally Moses is coaching at first for the Tigers, and Tony Cuccinell is at third. Tigers have 2 down, nobody on. And he struck out the side, and Gibson has now struck out 5 of the first 6 men he's faced. At the end of an inning and a half, it's the Tigers nothing and the Cardinals nothing.
Dandruff, scratching, itching. Introducing new Neutrogena T-Gel Stubborn Itch Control with cooling menthol you feel on contact. Unlike self-control, it works. Ask any dermatologist.
Hey, Michael, John here. I'm hanging out, having a beer. How come you don't come down?
Man, I'm doing the same thing as you. Why don't you come over here? I mean, the Miller Lite is ice cold and so smooth.
Oh, come on, man. From where I'm sitting, the Miller Lite tastes great.
Yeah, but the women are prettier over here. Trust me on this.
I find that very hard to believe.
And you guys call yourselves detectives.
Miller Lite. Taste the true Pilsner.
You know, we're kind of off duty right now. You know.
Hi.
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 Do you suffer from low back or hip pain morning after morning? Medical experts agree a pillow between your legs could be the best solution. But what a hassle. Too big, goes flat. Introducing the Contour Leg Pillow to give you relief without the hassle. Look, no leg support can put strain on the hips, knees, and pushes your lower back out of alignment. But the Contour Leg Pillow comfortably supports, restoring natural alignment. Relax back muscles, relieve strain on hips, knees, and joints. The curve fits your leg so it comfortably stays with you all night.
I've tried many other products in the past, and I was skeptical about this one at first, but it really does work.
I used to have constant back pain. I was uncomfortable standing, sitting, even lying down. But since I started using the Contour Leg Pillow, my back pain has greatly improved.
I used to suffer from tremendous lower back pain. The first night that I used the Contour Leg Pillow, the pain is gone. It's amazing.
Thousands of leg pillows have been sold for $19.95, but now you can get all-night lower back, hip, and knee comfort with a Contour Leg Pillow for only $14.95. But wait, there's more. If you order now, we'll also include the world-famous Contour Pillow to help relieve those tired, achy upper back and neck muscles for all-night comfort and support. Millions of Contour pillows have been sold for $19.95, but if you order now, we'll include it free. This is a spectacular $40 head-to-toe comfort value for just $14.95. Now, get complete comfort and support from your head, neck, and shoulders all the way to your low back, hips, and knees for just $14.95. But don't wait. This offer won't last long, so call right now. We accept these major credit cards and will even accept your personal check over the phone, just like a credit card.
Call 1-800-611-9292 to order the leg pillow and get the Contour Pillow free. 1-800-611-9292. That's 1-800-611-9292.
Major League Baseball presents the official 1999 World Series home video and Team Bean Collectible Bear. Relive the excitement of this year's Fall Classic, plus dramatic moments from each team's entire postseason. Reserve your copy now by calling 1-888-770-4MLB, and you'll also receive the official World Series Team Bean Bear. You'll get both collector's items for only $29.95. That's 1-888-770-4MLB. This message was furnished by Major League Baseball.
Football Classics, Wednesdays at 9, only on ESPN Classic. Are you old school?
This is ESPN Classic.
Orlando Cepeda. Ball one. Cepeda had a disappointing year with a bat, hitting .248, 16 homers, 73 runs batted in. Most valuable player in the National League last year. There's the sidearm delivery that McLean came up with this year. 1-1. So Cepeda, who had trouble hitting in last year's World Series, is anxious to atone for 67. The 1-1 pitch is ball two, 2-1. Well, Harry Sports has a way of never coming out the way you think it will, but three things should happen today if these two fellows are right. Should have a low-scoring game. They'll both be around at the finish, and it could be one of the quickest games in World Series history. Foul ball. These two fellows don't mess around out there. They pitch.
I'm intrigued by the style of McLean. You mentioned it before, Kurt, about how he throws everything up high. You know, in the National League, pitchers that throw pitches high usually get beat. But he's so effective and he's so strong that he can pitch what is usually a weakness for a pitcher, and he makes a strength out of it.
American League fans had some concern that they call high pitches strikes in the American League and not so much in the National League. There's a National League umpire behind the plate, Tom Gorman. The 2-2 delivery to Cepeda, fouls it back. Watch Cepeda when he swings. He strides in. He walks right into that pitch. He has good power to all fields. He can hit the ball a long ways to right center. He should like Tiger Stadium. This park puts more stress on defense and pitching. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Foul into the stand. You talked, Harry, about McLean being strong. He led the American League in complete games, and he led the majors in innings pitched this year. He's been a real workhorse. The 2-2 pitch, foul back. He works with 3 days rest. Gibson worked with 4 days rest. Of course, Gibson now is 8 years older. But McLean likes only 3 days rest all year.
Could you say that Gibson is a young 32 and McLean, in pitching savvy, knowledge, and ability, is an old 24?
I think that would be an apt description. Nobody on, nobody out. The 2-2 pitch. He went after a wide breaking pitch, popped it up in the shallow center. There's Northrup in under it for the out. Cepeda was reaching for that one.
A good change of pace that time. He really had him fooled, Kurt. He was way out in front, as the fans could tell if they were watching.
That's Tim McCarver, batting .253 for the year, 5 homers, 48 RBIs. McCarver fell off along with Cepeda in batting. And he also had trouble in last year's World Series hitting. There's a drive into right center. That one may be in the gap. It's all the way out to the fence. McCarver is coming for 3. Here's the throw. Wide. He's in there with a triple. Gets away, but backed up by McLean. McCarver triples to right center. So he's on third now with 1 out. And the Cardinals have the first scoring opportunity. Mike Shannon, a clutch hitter this year for the Cardinals. He had .266, knocked in 79 runs with 15 homers. He's the only St. Louis-born player here on the Cardinal roster. The Tigers are bringing the infield in. The outfield's deep. Step or 2 toward left. McCarver on third, 1 out. McCarver runs well, too, for a catcher. Probably the fastest catcher in baseball. A ball, 1-0. Nothing pitch. Lays off of it. That was a tough pitch to lay off, too. 2-0. McLean is behind Shannon, 2-0. McCarver at third, 1 out. No score, last of the second. Hit sharply foul down the third baseline. Two and one to Shannon. Lane ready now for the 2-1 pitch. Foul back. 2-2. Lane asked for a new ball. I wonder how he could see his signal the way he tucked that cap down over his eyes, Harry.
Well, that's those contact lenses, I guess.
He has one white and one tinted contact lens, too.
Yeah, you mentioned McCarver's speed for a catcher, which is so true. 2 years ago, he had 13 triples. Quite odd for a catcher to have that many triples.
2-2 to Shannon. A runner on third, one out. The Cardinals threatening here in the second. Struck him out with a fastball. So a neat recovery by McLean, who had dropped behind him 2-0 and then struck him out. And now with 2 down, the Tigers back the infield up, and Julio Javier is coming up. This first game of the 1968 series is being brought to you live and in color exclusively on NBC, where more people watch sports than on any other network. Javier hitting .260 for the year. 4 homers, 52 runs batted in. He had a fine series against the Red Sox last year. He had .360 in last year's 7-game series.
Kurt, here's a high fastball hitter right here, Javier.
He's down low, 1-0. These two clubs have a book on each other. Pages and pages of scouting reports. 2 down, McCarver at third. 0-0, last of the second. A little bit high. From McLean. Got behind Shannon 2-0. Now he's behind Javier 2-0. You see that pitcher getting behind batters early. You wonder if he's going to have his great day. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Right back in with a fastball for a strike. 2-1. Plain pitched well on the road. He won 17 and lost only 2 away from Tiger Stadium this past year. The 2-1 pitch. Right and on top of him, 3-1 now. Gibson had a 3-2 count on Stanley in the first inning. McLean now is 3-1 to Javier. Tim McCarver at third, 2 down. Three-one delivery. Foul back. Three and 2. If you've joined us late, 1 hit for each club. Stanley singled in the first for the Tigers, and McCarver has tripled here in the last of the second for the Cardinals. Javier from the Dominican Republic started his big league career with the Pirates. McLean pitching 3-2. Right in there for strike 3. So McLean strikes out Shannon and Javier with a runner on third and 1 out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. And at the end of 2 innings, no score.
Hey guys, if you have thinning hair, call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB now, and we'll send you our new 40-page hair loss update. It covers the most up-to-date information on hair growing drugs and methods, as well as Hair Club's most natural-looking, non-surgical hair development to date.
You don't feel any difference in this hair, this hair.
Now that I am a Hair Club client, I would never go back.
Call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB now and get your free booklet. That's 1-800-HAIR-CLUB.
Daddy, Stuart's here.
Morning. Little freak.
Mom, Dad, this is Stuart.
Oh, so you're Stuart.
Oh, Dad, you guys have so much in common.
Okay, Stuart. So, what are your plans for the future?
Well, I wouldn't mind living here.
Yeah. No, what's your passion, Stuart?
I like to trade online.
Oh, online trading. It's only a fad.
You ever heard of Ameritrade?
I'm a stockbroker, son.
Dad, he only pays $8 a trade.
You know, you give a kid a computer and he thinks he can beat the market.
Oh, dear.
I don't want to beat the market. I want to grab it, sock it in the gut a couple times, turn it upside down, hold it by the pants, shake them out till all those pockets empty, all that spare change you've been grabbing from me. Let's eat.
I want to have his baby.
Call toll-free 1-888-505-3600. Ameritrade. Believe in yourself.
Well, what do you think about utilities?
Carol.
Do you want to know when the games begin? Tune to ESPN Now for a complete guide to all sports on television. You get continuously updated schedule information so you know exactly what's on when. Plus, get live sports headlines from ESPN.com and the Go Network. If you want to know what the latest sports news is and where the games are, the place to be is ESPN Now. ESPN Now. It's where sports fans go first for sports. To get ESPN Now, call your cable company.
This is Propecia, a pill that might interest you. Talk to your doctor. And call 1-888-5-MERC-9 to see if you're eligible for a $10 rebate certificate. Propecia. There's no reason to wait.
Philips CD recorder. Burn your own CDs.
This is ESPN Classic.
Bill Freehan took the first pitch for a ball. Leading off here in the third. Going after one of Gibson's breaking pitches for a strike, 1-1. Freehan hitting .263. At 25 homers, 84 runs batted in. Fastball for a strike. Gibson has struck out 5 of the first 6 men. And Harry, this game is proceeding as billed.
Just according to script. A tremendous pitching duel.
The 1-2 pitch. Ball 2. He didn't commit himself. Checked his swing. 2-2.
I thought it was significant that McLean got his first strikeouts when there was a runner at third and only 1 out.
2-2 to Bill Freehan, a former Michigan football star. Fouls it back. Well, Gibson, maybe 32. I can't see where he's lost anything off that fastball, Harry. He's quick.
He'll be around a long time, barring an injury.
A 2-2 pitch to Freehan. 3-2. Gibson a little unhappy with that pitch. Got away from him.
I think more a little unhappy with himself, as you said, that the pitch got away from him. He was sort of off balance when he threw the pitch.
So this is his second 3-2 count in the game. And here it is to Freehan, and it fouls it back. You see these batters fouling pitches off, swinging late, hitting fouls in the seats to the opposite field. You know both these men have stuff. They just can't get around on him. Nobody on, nobody out. The 3-2 pitch to Freehand. High foul, drifting back again. Bob Gibson had the second best shutout total in modern baseball history since 1900 this year. 13 shutouts. The 3-2 pitch. Stroke foul down the third base line.
And Kurt, for the first time in his career, and he's very proud of it too, he was the strikeout champ of the league with 268 strikeouts.
If he continues this pace, he's going to be the strikeout champ of all time in the series. 3-2. Pitch. Strike three. Freehan may not have committed himself, but I believe that pitch was on the outside corner anyway. Gibson sharp curve. He has now struck out 6 of the first 7. The all-time record for most strikeouts in a World Series game, 15, held by Sandy Koufax for the Dodgers in 1963. Gibson has 6, and we're only in the 3rd inning. 1 out, nobody on. Don Word up. Nothing in 1 to Word, who hit 200 this year. 12 homers, 37 RBIs. Don lives in New Providence, Pennsylvania. That's strike 2. Right now, Bob Gibson is challenging an all-time World Series record. He has struck out 5 in a row, and the all-time record is 6. If he gets word on a strikeout, he'll tie the all-time World Series record. Oh, didn't miss by much. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Word. We have 1 out, nobody on, no score in the 3rd. Word singles in the center field. That's the 2nd hit for the Tigers, and brings up Denny McLean, who's a good bunter, by the way. He led the American League in sacrifice bunts. He had 16 of them during the year. No runs, 2 hits for the Tigers. No runs, 1 hit for the Cardinals. 1 away, Word on first. Strike to McLean. Dick McAuliffe on deck at the top of the Tiger batting order. And McLean trying to bunt again, fouls it back. Now it's 0-2. Look down to Tony Cuccinella, third, for a sign. He's out. Strikeout for the pitcher and a put out for the catcher. Trying to bunt on the 3rd strike. Fouls it back. 7 strikeouts for Bob Gibson. Top of the order, Dick McAuliffe, who struck out in the 1st inning.
Kurt, the most strikeouts in 1 game this year for Gibson was 15, and strangely enough, he lost that game.
2 down for the Tigers. Don Word at first. Curve is over for a strike. Gibson's always been a pressure pitcher, doing his best jobs when it means the most. Today he looks more determined than ever, Harry.
I'll make a comment on that in a moment.
The ground ball hit down to Cepeda. Steps on the bag for the out, and that's it for the Tigers in the 3rd. No runs, 1 hit, there were no errors, and 1 left. At the end of 2.5 innings, it's the Tigers nothing and the Cardinals nothing.
The Outback has finally come to town. Introducing the Subaru Outback Sedan.
A completely new kind of car that combines the rugged traction and control of full-time all-wheel drive with a decidedly uptown look.
My kind of town.
Outback sedan, yet another first from Subaru.
You know, Patty, I'm convinced men prefer blondes. And what type of men would this be, Daisy? The same type that prefer Miller Lite because it's so smooth. Oh, those? Well, the ones with great taste love Miller Lite because it tastes great. And by the way, prefer brunettes. Oh, if they prefer brunettes, why do they drink a beer that's smooth and blonde? Because it's a natural blend.
Miller Lite, taste the true Pilsner.
Yeah, like men care.
Dandruff, scratching, itching. Introducing new Neutrogena T-Gel Stubborn Itch Control with cooling menthol you feel on contact. Unlike self-control, it works. Ask any dermatologist.
Let's talk hard-working engines. Pretty rough, huh?
Well, you wanted full off-road capabilities. You know, just in case all the drive-thrus get moved to the mountains. But guess what? You got a hard-working engine. Better get a hard-working oil.
This is Quaker State 4x4, a synthetic blend for hard-working engines.
It's been tested.
For pure maximum protection, nothing's better. Quaker State, sensible technology.
What more do you need to know?
Did you know that Federal Express, Nike shoes, and even H. Ross Perot have made their millions using government money programs, and you can too. I'm Matthew Lesko. My new book shows you 15,000 programs that you could use to get a better job, get an education, or start your own business. Those who know about the programs are the ones who get the money.
I was able to get money to buy equipment for my business and also a microloan.
The government gave me money to live on for 6 months while I started my own business.
I want every taxpayer to know you get $100,000 to open up a coffee shop, or $15,000 to write a novel. You also get $9,000 to take a computer course, or get a GED, or a PhD.
If I could get $15,000 to go back to school, any woman could do it.
Doing what you want to do in life is like being on vacation every single day. Now, I'll show you how to get the government to pay for it. So call me.
Call 1-800-883-5995 for only $37.95. Money back if not completely satisfied.
It's taken 100 years and more than 15,000 players to assemble the most exclusive team in the history of sports. Major League Baseball's All-Century Team. Call 1-888-CENTURY to capture the game's greatest in a commemorative home video and book for just $44.95. Never before seen film lets you relive the best of baseball's last 100 years. Call today. This message has been furnished by Major League Baseball.
ESPN Classic. Are you old school?
You know, I'm real excited about the brand new 6 p.m. Sports Center. I just hope they don't feel the need to make a lot of changes and shake things up. Take a lesson from the Flintstones, like when they brought that little green guy Kazoo in. What's up with that?
This is ESPN Classic.
And welcome back to Victory Yard, everybody. We'll get back to the action in just a moment, but first, let's talk about the starting pitchers, Bob Gibson and Denny McLain, who so far are living up to their hype, the previous billing. It's a scoreless game, and both pitchers are holding their own. Denny McLain, in '68, won 31 games. The following year, I don't think a lot of people realize this, he was co-Cy Young Award winner as he won 24 games. But right after that, he was suspended by baseball for gambling, and really his life and his career took a tumble after that. What kind of a guy was Denny McLain? He really was an enigma to a lot of people.
Yeah, he was. It probably was an enigma to himself also. So I think it was partly his personality. He was always looking for an angle, a sharp guy, you know. But on the other hand, I think this was his way of trying to deal with the fact that he no longer was the greatest dominating pitcher in the game that he was for those 2 years. And I had a couple of good years, and I know when you're throwing the ball well and getting batters out, you feel like you're going to do this forever, and that you know, life is easy, and you're just sailing through, and you've got this tremendous power, and then when it disappears, it's a very, very tough thing to handle. You just don't have that hop on your fastball. You can't get the batters out. And some guys write books and other guys turn to crime.
Wow. And on top of that, he wasn't the most popular guy in baseball either, and I'm sure that didn't help once his career went downhill.
Yeah, he got involved in some bizarre things, you know, in the clubhouse with sports writers and stuff, and he was just a strange guy. But there were a lot of strange guys in baseball. We were all weird in some way. I mean, you got a lot guys coming up out of high school. In those days, you didn't go to college for 4 years and then turn pro. You went right out of high school. So we were partially formed people. And now here suddenly we are on the national stage, and our pictures in the newspapers. We're on television. We're big stars, and you know, it's hard to handle that when you really don't quite know who you are as a person.
Well, at this point in time, Denny McLain was at the top of his game, 1968. Back to the action in the bottom of the third. Now, the Cardinals couldn't get a runner past second base as McLain escaped the bats and the legs of Lou Brock and Curt Flood, not to mention a great sacrifice bunt by Gibson. In the top of the fourth, Gibson sandwiched a called strike of Hall of Fame slugger Al Kaline between flyouts. We now return to Game 1 of the '68 World Series in the bottom of the fourth. No score, and the Cardinals coming to bat.
Roger Maris takes ball one. They've already announced the paid attendance, 54,692. McLain is behind him 2-0. That's the fifth batter now McLain's been behind on in the game, 2-0. 3-0. They have a banner they have hung on the wall out there in left center, and they're asking the fans to remove it. 3-0 pitch. He walks him on 4 pitches. The second walk given up by McLain. Has been a good control pitcher all year, and he is not as sharp with his control today, I know, as he'd like to be. It's been a tougher struggle for him today than Bob Gibson so far. Tim McCarver tripled to right center his first time. And he was left on third in the second inning when McLain struck out Shannon and Javier. A ball with a left-handed batter up. Cash is playing off the bag against Maris. One ball, no strikes. 2-0 again. 3 batters this inning behind each of them, 2-0. This usually gets a pitcher in trouble sometimes. Can't just keep getting behind them.
You can't help but think along that line.
2-0. Three and 0. Three and 0 to Tim McCarver. And he walks him on 4 pitches. He walked Maris on 4 pitches. The third walk given up by McLain, who's having an off day on his control. Gibson has not walked a man. This is the largest crowd in the history of Bush Memorial Stadium today. It'll be something in Tiger Town, too, Harry, when we get up there. They've had the grand ticket hunt on in recent days.
Kurt, I guess this will be the first World Series between 2 clubs, each of which drew more than 2 million at home.
Mike Shannon struck out his first time. The Cardinals have runners on first and second, 1 out. They have threatened in each of the last 3 innings. The strike. There's still no score. 0-1 to Shannon. Uh-oh, look out. Down he goes. 1-1 to him. The Cardinals are going to represent Major League Baseball on the annual tour of Japan this year. Shannon told me before the game he's going bear hunting over there with a crossbow. Like most of the ball players, he likes to hunt and fish. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fouls a sidearm fastball out of play, and it's 1-2. Roger Maris at second base. Tim McCarver at first. 1 out. No score in the last of the 4th inning. A 1-2 pitch to Mike Shannon. Foul again back. Both Gibson and McLean, why they're such outstanding pitchers, their fastballs really move. They not only just throw hard, but their fastballs are coming in and sailing and swerving and moving. That's why you've seen so many foul balls back in the seats. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Changed up, 2-2. Runners on first and second, 1 out. Two and 2 pitch coming up to Mike Shannon. There's a base hit to left field. Harris is rounding third. Willie Horton fumbles the ball. Coming over to third is McCarver. And into second goes Shannon. And the Cardinals take the lead. Shannon singles to left, scoring Maris. When Horton couldn't come up with the ball, McCarver raced to third, and on the throw to third, Shannon went into second. An error's been charged on Willie Horton. That's the second Tiger error of the game. Runners on second and third, 1 out, and the Cardinals ahead 1-0. Javier struck out his first time. And he hits it in the right field. This will score maybe 2. Kaline fires to the plate, not in time, and the Cardinals lead 3-0 on Javier's single to right. And so the control troubles that McLean was getting into behind on the batters. The Cardinals finally caught up with him here in the 4th and have scored 3 runs.
How many times, Kurt, have you heard Pee Wee Reese or Sandy Koufax talk about how expensive bases on balls are?
Both the men that walked here have come in to score. Mayo Smith, the Tiger manager now. 1 out, a runner on first, 3 runs in. Ball 1 to Del Maxville. There's Shane Dienst, the Cardinal manager. His club has grabbed the lead in the opening game. The 1-0 pitch, runner going. Throw down, not in time. A stolen base for Javier. That's the second stolen base for the Cardinals, and Javier comes up limping. Lou Brock, after sliding in the third, complained of evidently a shoulder or an arm condition. Well, the series was billed as the Cardinals' speed and the Tigers' power. There's a high fly ball out to Willie Horton in left field. Javier plays it halfway and goes back to second. 2 down, and Bob Gibson will be up. So far, the Cardinals have stolen 2 bases. Bob Gibson receiving a big hand as he steps in. Gibson has struck out 8 men in his first 4 innings. Gibson had a sacrifice bunt his first time up. Javier at second, 2 down. A ball to Bob Gibson. One and one to Gibson. Reruns in for the Cardinals, last of the 4th. They're leading 3-0. A 1-1 pitch. Ball to 2-1. Javier on second. 2 out. And the 2-1 pitch is hit foul down the third baseline. 2-2. The real oddity, Harry, to me, is this is the exact batting order that the Cardinals had for the opening game of the World Series last year. Most clubs change somewhat and make trades, retire, rookies come in, but the Cardinals have the same batting order they opened in Boston in the series last year. Strike 3 as Gibson goes down. Third strikeout for McLean, but a 3-run inning for the Cardinals on 2 hits. 1 error and 1 left. At the end of 4, the Cardinals lead 3-0.
Sam Adams. It's what's inside.
Dandruff? Scratching? Itching? Introducing new Neutrogena T-Gel Stubborn Itch Control with cooling menthol you feel on contact. Unlike self-control, it works. Ask any dermatologist.
What do you have, folks?
A large pepperoni pizza.
And a Pepsi, please.
Sure thing, Curly.
Thank you.
We both know I ordered a Pepsi Cola. And now you've insulted me by offering me this. But I'd like to give you a chance to make amends. Capiche?
Yeah. Here you go.
Good eye.
Set your clock for good time.
And boogie! And the minute our eyes heat, I knew she was Gladys Knight and I was the Pips.
Call now and get in all the good times with Good Times, now on home video.
I rated D for dang old man.
Lindsay, stop that nonsense before something falls off.
Call me a cup of coffee and make it like I like my man, hot, black, and strong.
Good Times, the Collector's Edition. Own 4 of the funniest episodes ever for just $4.95 plus shipping and handling.
I'm an artiste. What I didn't know algebra for anyway? What am I, an Algerian?
So set your clock for Good Times on home video. Operators are standing by.
To get your first 4-episode video of Good Times, the Collector's Edition for only $4.95 plus shipping, have your credit card ready and call toll-free 1-800-754-0077. That's 1-800-754-0077.
Hi, I'm Mary Lou Retton, a real Wheaties champion. Stick around for an important message.
Hey, America! Wheaties isn't just for breakfast anymore. Now you can be a Wheaties champion with a new Wheaties Breakfast of Champions sports trivia game.
Which team's training camp was called Fort Landry? The Dallas Cowboys.
All right, man.
Who was the best NBA player of the 90s?
What's that guy's name?
Thousands of questions just like these are waiting for you.
You should have had your Wheaties.
It's great family fun and a collectible celebrating 75 years of Wheaties champions in a fast-paced game, complete with team play, interceptions, umpires, playbook, scorecards, and more. A game's 100 selection. Included is a CD sampler on these sports.
Now is your chance to be a champion. A portion of the sale of every game benefits Children's Miracle Network.
So call the number on your screen to order and join us in the winner's circle.
Have your credit card ready and call 1-800-883-5995. Be a champion today.
If you want to see the greatest uncut fights of all time, you've got to watch ESPN Classic. Now experience boxing's most unique show, an exclusive look inside the ring with the champ, Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray's Hit Parade. He'll take you through historic battles and give you the inside story behind every hook, jab, and knockout from fights that are totally uncut. Sugar Ray's Hit Parade, tonight at 9, only on ESPN Classic.
So close to the action, you got to duck.
Are you old school?
This is ESPN Classic.
All right, in the fifth inning, Bob Gibson will face Willie Horton, Jim Northrup, and Bill Freehan. Horton struck out, took a called third strike his first time. It's a high pop-up. Backpedaling for it is Javier, the second baseman. One away. Jim Northrup struck out his first time. 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Cardinals, no runs, 2 hits, and 2 errors for the Tigers. 8 strikeouts for Gibson, no walks, and he's allowed 2 singles. The Tigers were the best comeback team in baseball this year. I think over 40 times they pulled games out in the 8th or 9th innings when they were behind. So don't count them out. Ball 1. They were almost unbelievable the way they'd come from behind. One ball, no strikes. Fouls it off and hits umpire Tom Gorman. That hurt. Incidentally, you're seeing a National League umpire behind the plate today. He wears his chest protector inside his coat. Tomorrow, an American League umpire will be working. He'll have the chest protector outside the coat. And the National League umpire works to the side of the catcher on balls and strikes, while the American League umpire is right behind the catcher. Two and one. He's just a little bit to the side. Or works between the catcher and the batter on that angle. Foul back, 2 and 2.
Come on, Kitty! Let's go!
This boy up right now, Jim Northrup, was 3rd in the American League and runs batted in. That's lamp black, by the way, under his eyes. The players wear that, the reflection of the sun. 3 and 2. Now, Gibson's had 4 3-2 counts in the game, but he hasn't walked anyone yet. Three-two pitch. Line drive to the shortstop. Al Maxwell timing his jump to go up for it. 2 down.
Let's watch that play again, Kurt. Maxwell will time it perfectly. And that's how it's done.
That one nearly ripped his glove off. That's the hardest hit ball for the Tigers so far. Ball 1 to Bill Freehan, who struck out his first time. There are 2 down, nobody on. The Cardinals leading 3-0. Curve is low, 2-0. Gibson's been using a fastball, a slider, and a curve. The 2-0 pitch. 3-0. This is his first 3-0 count. Nelson Briles against Mickey Lolich tomorrow, a right-hander and a left-hander. There's the first walk given up by Gibson. Freehan's on first. Hitting number 8 in the Tiger order, Don Wirtz coming up. He singled to center his first time. Two down. Freehan at first. Strike to Wirtz. And with 2 away and Freehan in first, Cepeda plays off the bag, even though a right-hander's up there. Denny McClain's due up next. Blew the fastball by him, strike 2. Eddie Matthews just picked up a bat in the Tiger dugout. They might pinch hit for McClain if they get to him. The 2-strike pitch is strike 3. They won't get to him this inning. 9 strikeouts for Bob Gibson. He may be challenging the all-time series record of 15 strikeouts. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left. And at the end of 4.5 innings, it's the Cardinals 3 and the Tigers nothing.
Now get Touched by Love, a new 36-song collection of the most popular soft rock hits.
I love you. I honestly love you. Sometimes when we touch,
You'll feel the magic of love in every song. Touched by Love is not sold in stores, so order now. Call toll-free now for Touched by Love. 2 cassettes, $19.98, 2 CDs, $26.98, plus $4.95 shipping. Call now.
What sets some people apart? Gives them the confidence to succeed on their own terms. It's no secret, it's the Wall Street Journal. Now you can have that confidence delivered for 13 weeks at just $36.75, just 57 cents a day. That's a 25% savings off our regular rate, which makes now a great time to try this limited time offer. Call now, 800-443-1900. That's 800-443-1900 for the Wall Street Journal.
People say I talk a lot of trash. I don't talk a lot of trash.
This bum go over 5 rounds, I won't return to the United States for 30 days.
Ali talk trash.
Well, all these big mouth people here in Miami talking about I talk too much and this one's gonna whoop me, so I want all of them to be there.
He invented trash.
Yeah, I wish him a happy new year because he's gonna need happiness after I annihilate him.
But he can back it up, too.
I must be the greatest.
You gotta call 1-800-CLASSIC to get ESPN Classic.
Dandruff? Scratching? Itching? Introducing new Neutrogena T-Gel Stubborn Itch Control with cooling menthol you feel on contact. Unlike self-control, it works. Ask any dermatologist.
You know, ideas and inventions come from people in all walks of life. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? If so, Invention Submission Corporation has information to help you get started. ISC is America's largest inventor service firm. Call now and learn how to submit your idea to companies through ISC's databank and apply for a patent. Even if your idea is just to improve an existing product, call for ISC's free information.
For your inventor's information, call 1-800-754-0077.
This is ESPN Classic.
With Kurt Gowdy and Tony Kubek, this is Harry Carey at Bush Memorial Stadium. Tommy Matchik, an infielder, is going to be the pinch hitter for Denny McClain. Matchik, 24 years old, started in the Cardinal organization, by the way. Left-handed hitter. Born in Hazleton, Pennsylvania, now lives in Freeland. Tommy Matchik, M-A-T-C-H-I-C-K. So Denny McClain goes out after pitching 5. McClain allowed 3 hits, 3 runs in his 5 innings. Walk 3. Matchik fouling it back. 1 ball and a strike. Matchik had 3 homers, drove in 14 runs. One of the homers was a dramatic one to win a big ball game for the Tigers. When their race with Baltimore was close. Soon after that, they fatten up the gap. A little low with the fastball. 2 balls and a strike. Dick McAuliffe, the leadoff man, next. There's a good fastball in there. Gibson is fan 9 already. Pat Dobson is warming up for the Tigers. High pop foul. May stay in play. Shannon can't reach it. Ha-ha, how about that? A lady comes up with the ball. Is she happy? She'll be telling the whole neighborhood how she grabbed that ball. Tom Matchik on a 2-2 situation. Cardinals are leading 3-0. But everybody is aware of the late inning tendencies of these Tigers. Foul back. Matchik had a good cut. The Tigers drafted Matchik from the Cardinals in the player draft after the '62 season. Only 24 years old. Barely missed, and McCarver thought it caught the corner. I thought it had the corner, Tom, said McCarver. And Tom says, well, I say it didn't. A little tap. Gibson's going to cover first. From Cepeda to Gibson. 1 away.
That Gibson really moves off that mound, Harry.
He is a cat. There is no question about it. Well, he was an outstanding basketball player at Creighton University and then played with the Harlem Globetrotters. And you know how nimble and agile and quick they are. He can do everything, Gibson. Above all, he can throw that ball mighty hard and win. McAuliffe. Base hit. Sharply hit, too, into right field. McAuliffe pulls a single to right. That's a 3rd hit off Gibson. Never more than 1 in any inning. The Tigers haven't had anybody beyond first base. Gibson has walked 1, allowed 3 hits. So 4 men have reached base, but nobody has gone into what is now virgin territory at 2nd and 3rd for the Tigers. This is Mickey Stanley. Singled and flied out. Good fastball at the knees. Tigers trying to put a big inning together, and this is something they do frequently. Mickey Stanley hit .259 during the season. Slider caught the corner. He stopped his swing, but it was in there.
Tiger game this year has been the home run ball. When they don't get the home runs in a game, they've had their problems. Gibson gave up only 11 home runs all year. He's not a fella known to give up homers.
Stanley swings and strikes out. That's number 10 for Gibson. 15 in World Series game is the record. Here's Al Kaline. He's fanned twice. The move of Stanley to shortstop hasn't hurt the Tiger defense at all so far today. Base hit, maybe extra bases. A runner on second on his way to third. Kaline going into second base with a double. And the Tigers have something going. Runners at second and third. And further justification of manager Mayo Smith's daring move. So far, Stanley hasn't hurt them defensively at short. And Kaline, by being in the lineup, has given them their first scoring opportunity with a double that puts runners at second and third. But there are 2 out, and Norm Cash, McCarver, and Gibson. Both of them are real good needlers of each other, Kurt. And they prod each other into better performances.
Gibson's actually the needler of the ball club, isn't he, in the clubhouse?
Yes, he's the champ. Norm Cash struck out and flied out. Ooh, he had a good cut, but he didn't connect. So the Tigers now have had men to second and third. And now they have a chance to bring them across the plate. But there are 2 out. Little low. That was a good moving fastball. Gibson throws 2 kinds of fastballs. One that kind of jumps a little bit, and another one that sinks. There's a breaking ball, and it is a dandy. He really snapped one off that time. It's hot and muggy down on that field. Cash in the hole. The 11th strikeout. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Cardinals 3, Detroit nothing.
Thinking about hair loss? Now there are effective FDA-approved treatments for men's hair loss. The sooner you make an appointment to see your doctor, the better. Or call 1-800-73-MERC to find out more. Merck, helping make hair loss history.
You know, Kenny and I never compare statistics.
Or Super Bowls.
That way we can drink our Miller Lights without arguing. Right, Mr. Fewer career touchdown passes than me?
Right, Mr. Never Been to the Big One.
We only talk about why Miller Lite tastes great.
It's the choice hops.
No, Snake. Miller Lite tastes great because it's smooth. But let's not fight.
Yeah, you're right. Let's be friends.
Table ready for Mr. I don't have as many passing yards to Stan Fouts?
Hey, that's you.
Miller Lite. Taste the true Pilsner.
Major League Baseball presents the official 1999 World Series home video and Team Bean Collectible Bear. Relive the excitement of this year's Fall Classic, plus dramatic moments from each team's entire postseason. Reserve your copy now by calling 1-888-770-4MLB, and you'll also receive the official World Series Team Bean Bear. You'll get both collector's items for only $29.95. That's 1-888-770-4MLB. This message was furnished by Major League Baseball.
She's done it. She's done it. A fairy story come true.
Hi, I'm old school Wimbledon champion Virginia Wade, and this is ESPN Classic.
Counting down the top 20, this 9-time Olympic champion dazzled the world with his unparalleled athleticism and his gold. Sports Century athlete number 12, Carl Lewis, Friday at 10:30 on ESPN, presented by General Motors.
This is ESPN Classic.
Willie Horton leading off. Ooh, what a cut. You can see why he hit 36 home runs, but he fouled it off. Like so many of the Tigers, this is his first World Series.
Look at his neck and shoulders, Harry. That's where his power is.
You know who he reminds me of, especially when looking down from the booth? Roy Campanella.
Right, they're both built a lot alike.
Has the same stance that Campy used to have.
He used to be a catcher in high school, this boy, in the Detroit High School.
1 ball, 1 strike. It's seldom you beat Gibson in late innings. But the Tigers have made a career out of it, winning more than 30 games in the 9th inning this past season. Maxfield grabs a hot line drive. That's 2 line drives.
This wasn't as difficult as the previous one. But he was there for it. He still had to have quick reflexes to move in the hole.
He's a very underrated ball player, Kurt. He does a tremendous job around shortstop. Here's Jim Northrup. 1 ball, no strike. So the Tigers have 4 hits, actually more than the Cardinals. They've hit several balls on the nose, line drives at the shortstop that have been caught. So they haven't exactly been handcuffed, although they're losing 3-0. Northrup is fanned and hit a hot line drive to Maxwell. Curve is a beauty. 2 strikes and a ball. The crowd buzzing now as Gibson gets closer and closer to another World Series victory. Can't beat fun at the old ballpark. And as you notice, everybody here in shirt sleeves today. Jim Northrup lives in Detroit, Michigan. He struck him out swinging. Strikeout number 12. And we may see, it was just 5 years ago today, October the 2nd, 1963, that Sandy Koufax fanned 15 at Yankee Stadium for the record. And Alan Roth, you're amazing.
Gibson has struck out now at least 1 man in every inning. He's been consistent with those strikeouts. His big inning was the second when he struck out the side.
Bill Freehan up there, he is fanned and walked. I referred to our statistician, Alan Roth, who is a fountain of fingertip information. That's why he never gets a manicure. Two balls, no strikes. 7th inning, St. Louis ahead 3-0. To a breaking ball and split the plate with it.
He's really been getting that curve over today, Harry.
2 balls and a strike. 2 out. Fouled out of play. Bob Gibson is author of a book, Ghetto to Glory. He's from Omaha, Nebraska, you know. And the town is really proud of him. As well they might be. Whoa, the crowd groans on that one. All 3. Naturally, as Gibson's getting close to a strikeout record, anything anywhere near the plate, the St. Louis fans want to have called a strike. 3-2 pitch. Struck him out. Strikeout number 13. Nothing across for Detroit in the 7th. We go into the bottom of the 7th inning. It's St. Louis 3, Detroit nothing.
Hey guys, if you have thinning hair, call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB now, and we'll send you our new 40-page hair loss update. It covers the most up-to-date information on hair growing drugs and methods, as well as Hair Club's most natural-looking, non-surgical hair development to date.
You don't feel any difference in this hair, this hair.
Now that I am a Hair Club client, I would never go back.
Call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB now and get your free booklet. That's 1-800-HAIR-CLUB.
Stuart, can I see you in my office, please?
That kid is sick.
Hands are squeaky.
Very sick.
Stuart, get in here.
Sure thing, Mr. P.
Stuart, I just opened my Ameritrade account.
Let's light this candle.
Let's go to Ameritrade.com. It's easier than falling in love. What do you feel like buying today, Mr. P?
Kmart.
So research it. All this stuff is provided for you free of charge.
No cost.
Yeah, that's synonymous with free.
Looks like a good stock.
Let's buy.
Let's buy 100 shares.
All right, click it in there.
Okay.
How about 500?
100, Stuart.
You feel the excitement? You're about to buy a stock
Okay.
online.
Oh, fabulous. I'm thrilled. What did that cost me?
$8, my man.
$8?
$8. Riding the wave of the future, my man. I gotta get a soda.
All right.
I'm sorry, Mr.
Wait a
P.
minute.
I'm having a party on Saturday night. If you really want to go,
I'm going to try and get there. Thank
Happy
you, Stuart.
trading.
Thank you.
Rock on.
All right, Stuart.
Call toll-free 1-888-505-3600. Ameritrade. Believe in yourself.
Tomorrow on ESPN at 6 Sports Center, at 7 Up Close, at 8 the Kings Penguins, and at 11 Sports Center. On ESPN2 at 7 RPM tonight, at 7:30 NFL Tonight, at 8 Sports Center of the Decade, and at 10 Sports Century Athlete number 14. And on ESPN Classic at 9 Sugar Ray's Hit Parade, and at 10 Big Fights Boxing Hour. Do you have all the ESPN networks?
Dandruff? Scratching? Itching? Introducing new Neutrogena T-Gel Stubborn Itch Control with cooling menthol you feel on contact. Unlike self-control, it works. Ask any dermatologist.
This is ESPN Classic.
With Kurt Gowdy and Tony Kubek, Harry Carey at Bush Memorial Stadium. We're in the top of the 8th inning. A pinch hitter up there, Eddie Matthews, 37-year-old veteran, appearing in his 3rd World Series, his 1st as an American leaguer. On the disabled list much of this year, the count on him, 2 strikes and a ball. He struck him out swinging. That is number 14. Eddie Matthews batting for Don Wirt. Went down swinging.
Harry, here's a man who was almost incredible this year as a pinch hitter, Gates Brown. When you read that average off of the pinch hitter.
462 as a pinch hitter with 18 hits, 9 of them for extra bases. Gates Brown, a left-handed batter, pinch hitting here. Cardinals leading 4-0. The next strikeout, if he gets one for Gibson, will tie the World Series record for strikeouts in a game. It's a little low. 4-0, St. Louis. Bob Gibson doing it again. Little low, ball 2. Gates Brown from Crestline, Ohio originally. That's where he was born. Swings, pop fly, short left. Brock will get it. 2 gone. And here's Dick McCullough. You know, Kurt, in order for Gibson to either tie or break that World Series strikeout mark, he will really have to earn it, because the heart of the batting order still will come up. We have McAuliffe now with 2 out in the 8th. Stanley, Kaline, and Cash are sure to bat in the 9th. I remember when Carl Erskine fanned 14 in the World Series against the Yankees while he was a member of the Brooklyn Dodgers. That held up as the record until Sandy Koufax broke it. Foul back.
You've watched this man so many times, but one word I think really describes him: a machine. He is really a machine on that mound. He's as tough right now as he was in the 1st or 2nd inning.
He's the most intense competitor I ever saw. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bob Gibson. Line foul, strike 2. Don McMahon is warming up. Gates Brown batted for Pat Dobson, flied out to Brock. Eddie Matthews started the inning as a pinch hitter for Wirt, struck out. And now McAuliffe with a count of 2 strikes and a ball. Watch this pitch. It could be a historic one. Fly ball, left field. That's all. 1, 2, 3, nothing across as McAuliffe flied to Brock. At the end of 7.5 innings, it remains the Cardinals 4, Detroit nothing.
The Outback has finally come to town. Introducing the Subaru Outback Sedan. A completely new kind of car that combines the rugged traction and control of full-time all-wheel drive with a decidedly uptown look.
My kind of town.
Outback Sedan, yet another first from Subaru.
At Invesco, we know that the financial world isn't always as it seems. The big economic picture can always change quickly. And to manage a fund, Invesco knows you need to be on top of the changing picture and know how it might affect you right at home. To learn more about aggressive growth opportunities with the Invesco Endeavor Fund, call your financial advisor or Invesco. You should know what Invesco knows.
Hey, Michael, John here. I'm hanging out, having a beer. How come you don't come down?
Man, I'm doing the same thing as you. Why don't you come over here? I mean, the Miller Lite is ice cold and so smooth.
Oh, come on, man. From where I'm sitting, the Miller Lite tastes great.
Yeah, but the women are prettier over here. Trust me on this.
I find that very hard to believe.
And you guys call yourselves detectives.
Miller Lite. Taste the true Pilsner.
You know, we're kind of off duty right now. You know.
Hi.
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 Dandruff? Scratching? Itching? Introducing new Neutrogena T-Gel Stubborn Itch Control with cooling menthol you feel on contact. Unlike self-control, it works. Ask any dermatologist.
Now available for the first time ever on home video, the best of the Dean Martin Celebrity Roasts.
What a night. Who are we honoring?
Jokes, jabs, insults, and put-downs. That's what made these roasts hilarious and makes this tape a must-have for your video library.
Johnny Carson is a comedian who is seen every night in millions of bedrooms all over America. And that's why his last wife left him.
This tape features over 50 stars and over 100 minutes of the funniest, most outrageous laughs ever seen on television.
How sweet it is.
She wants to dye her hair back to its original color, but she can't remember it.
It takes many years to be a great comedian.
Sure does. You ain't reached that year yet.
You know, some performers never have a night like this. Those are the lucky ones.
Call now to order the best of the Dean Martin Celebrity Roasts for only $19.95. It's not sold in any store, so call and order right now.
It's taken 100 years and more than 15,000 players to assemble the most exclusive team in the history of sports. Major League Baseball's All-Century Team. Call 1-888-CENTURY to capture the game's greatest in a commemorative home video and book for just $44.95. Never before seen film lets you relive the best of baseball's last 100 years. Call today. This message has been furnished by Major League Baseball.
Unlike most cheerleaders, I follow the sports that I cheer for. And that's why I read ESPN, the magazine. ESPN, the magazine, is the magazine for sports nuts, like me.
On the next Chat One-on-One, his students have won every Grand Slam title possible.
You make me sound as if I've done a lot of things in my life.
The most successful coach in tennis history, Nick Bollettieri, his most intimidating student.
So you'd been coaching for about a third of a century, and you were still afraid of him?
Oh, I was still afraid of him. Yes, sir.
Devoting himself full-time to Agassi.
When Courier was doing so well, did you ever think you had made a mistake by going with Andre?
And the woman he picks as #1.
Pound for pound, she's the best.
Bollettieri, Chat One-on-One, tomorrow at 6:30 only on ESPN Classic.
We now bring you back to the top of the 9th inning as Bob Gibson prepares to hurl himself into history in Game 1 against the Tigers in the 1968 World Series.
Mickey Stanley on the first pitch was trying to stop his swing, and bounces one fouled on the first baseline. 1 strike and no balls. Gibson can tie the record for consecutive wins in a World Series. He can set a new World Series record for 6 complete games in a row. He can tie or break the strikeout record for a World Series game in this 9th inning. Her ball is low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Stanley's had 1 of the 4 hits. A first inning single. He has had 1 of the 14 strikeouts in the 6th. You notice how Gibson really comes off that back foot. He really lets everything go. Two balls and a strike. Mickey Stanley fouls back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Let's watch this pitch. It could be a record pitch coming up.
Harry also, Bob Gibson, if he holds on to this lead, can become the first National League pitcher to ever win 6 World Series games.
It could be a productive afternoon. He looks oblivious to it all. Here it is. Foul out of play.
The crowd here knows the strike, what he's shooting at. Every time the count gets to 2 strikes, they start to stir through the stands. They know he's 1 strikeout away from tying the record.
1 from tying and 2 from breaking it. 2-2 pitch. Foul back. Every time any kind of contact is made with a ball by the hitter, the crowd groans. Just as soon as the bat ticks the ball, the groan is audible. It can also be heard. Foul again. Luke Cusero, I think you're right. It's the transistor radios in the crowd that have informed them as they're getting the NBC radio report. 2-2 pitch. Right up this way. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So he still has a shot at that strikeout. Mickey Stanley. A lot of time on this one. Base hit. A single to center for Stanley. He hit a slider about belt high. Well, the Tigers are 4 runs behind. But this is a plucky ball club all year long. The 9th inning was the one that they turned ball games around in. K-Line is fanned twice. He also doubled to set up the only scoring chance the Tigers had. Ooh, he had a cut. Good fastball. I don't believe Gibson has changed up on a single pitch. It's all fastball, slider, and curve.
That low fastball of his has really been sinking, too. Now what, Harry? Curveball?
I think you'll go with the mustard. Let's see. 2 strikes, no ball. Stanley at first. Cepeda not holding him on. Miss outside with his fastball. Norm Cash would be next. Al Kaline, who has waited 16 years to play in a World Series game. Fouls it out of play off to the right. 2 strikes and a ball. Isn't it a funny game? With all the suspense now, just on an inconsequential thing like a strikeout. All over the world, people, I'm sure, are tensed as they are here at the ballpark for this pitch. Foul back, over our heads. He may be showing just a little sign of tiring on a hot, muggy day, Kurt. You notice that little deep breath he took, or like a sigh?
Notice he hasn't been coming as smooth as in his delivery, as in his stride as he was earlier.
2 strikes and a ball. The pitch to K-Line. Got him! Listen to the crowd. Standing ovation for Bob Gibson. He has just tied a World Series record. Here's Norm Cash now. 1 ball, no strikes. The record was held by Sandy Koufax, NBC's Game of the Week crew, by the way. Swung and missed. He wants to establish a new record now, and he needs 1 strikeout with 2 men to go.
He's been consistent. He struck out at least 1 man in every inning.
It is such a dramatic scene that I find myself not wanting to say a word because your picture's telling you the whole story. Out of play. They still have a shot at him. 2 strikes and a ball.
Right now, the fans are concentrating more on Gibson's strikeout than the outcome of the game here.
I think that's been true for a couple of innings. Cash is paying twice. K-Line struck out 3 times, by the way. Listen to him as he gets ready for this pitch. Foul out of play. 2 strikes and a ball. Wasn't it Dizzy Dean in the World Series against the Tigers in '34 that yelled to his catcher to drop a pop foul so that he could strike Hank Greenberg out a 4th time? I think it was. Fouled it off. Just barely. He had a rather weak swing.
There's a lot of hard feelings in that 34 series. And Dean especially has been on Greenberg during the series. There's been a lot of dugout barbs thrown back and forth.
2 strikes and a ball. Ooh, he almost chased it. 2-2. Willie Horton will be next. He needs a strikeout for a new record. Al Kaline, great star, playing his first World Series in 16 years, was his 15th strikeout. Once again, a standing ovation. A new World Series record. He is paying 16. Fastball outside. A salvo out of the stands in left center.
Gibson's going to pick up records today like a vacuum cleaner, Harry.
1 ball, no strikes. High pop foul back. He got 2 strikeouts in the first, 3 in the second, 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth, 2 in the sixth, 2 in the seventh, 1 in the eighth, 2 so far in the ninth. What a remarkable performance. One ball, 1 strike. Foul back. Strike 2. And he could end it all now with the most dramatic of flourishes. 2 strikes and a ball. Biggest crowd ever to see a baseball game here. Watching baseball World Series history being made. And so are you wherever you are. 2 strikes and a ball. Look at that concentration on his face. Almost chased it. A breaking ball. Willie Horton stopped in time. Just think, he's accounted for 16 of the putouts all by himself. the first one. Now his infielders all over him. A new world's record of 17 strikeouts in one game. Tony Kubek, I know, will be talking to him. The St. Louis Cardinals have won the first game of the World Series 4-0.
Bob Gibson, in your new book, From Ghetto to Glory. Right now, probably one of your most glorious moments. World Series records all over the place. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot, just great.
What about your impressions, Bob, of the Tigers? You just pitched a fantastic ball game again. What about the Tigers?
Well, the Tigers they're quite a bit like I imagined they would be with guys that are capable of hitting home runs. I knew they would be swinging a lot, so I just had to make good pitches.
Bob, what about the pitch you used most successfully? Was it the fastball, the curveball, the slider? Which was your best pitch, or were they all good?
Well, today, fortunately, every one of my pitches were working for me. My fastball was good. I was getting it on the corner. My slider I was getting on the corner, and I think my curveball was more of a surprise to them than anything else. So I think that's where the scouting reports help. I don't think they said too much about my curveball.
Bob, you struck out 17, setting a new World Series record. It's fantastic. I mean, the fans just stood and cheered you. That must be your most thrilling moment in sports. You've had many.
Well, I guess so. I didn't know what they were cheering about, and Tim came out in front of the plate, and I just turned around and looked at the scoreboard. I had no idea.
Bob, during the course of the game, we had a chance to talk to your lovely wife, Mrs. Gibson, your daughter, Renee, and we saw your mother there up there. Your daughter, Renee, was just enthralled. She was almost in tears seeing her daddy out there perform. She's really proud of you.
That's right. She was real excited about getting out of school and coming down here. She's just going to be here for one game today, and then tonight she's going back home, and I knew that she would enjoy the game, win, lose, or draw.
Bob Gibson, congratulations once again. Thank you so much. It's a masterful performance once again.
Thank you very much.
And there you have it, Bob Gibson and his amazing World Series record, 17 strikeouts. It's kind of funny, though, that Gibson admits that his curveball was the key. And considering he was one of the most overpowering pitchers in the history of baseball, it was a curveball that really helped him make his mark.
But it was quite a curveball. It was the pitch you don't see in baseball anymore. It was the old-fashioned, hard overhand curveball. It looked like a fastball coming in and dropped off a table. As a matter of fact, it used to be called a drop. Koufax had the same kind of a curveball. And what made it so tough to hit was it was thrown with exactly the same motion as the fastball. And it looked like a fastball coming in and right off the table. It was very, very... The reason you don't see it today is because it's a hard pitch to throw for a strike. Because it used to break about 2 feet. If it comes in high and breaks into the strike zone, it looks like it's too high. If it comes in over the strike zone and breaks down, the catcher catches it low, and it looks like he's catching it in the dirt for a ball. So there was this narrow little, like a mail slot that you had to throw the ball into in order to get a strike with that. I had an overhand curve. Camilo Pascual had an overhand curve. And it was so hard to throw for a strike. It was a great 2-strike pitch because they'd have to go for it to protect themselves. But Johnny Sain came up with a hard curve, which was a combination of a curve and a slider. And more pitchers began to go to that. It didn't break as much, but it broke sharper and later, and it was much easier to learn and easier to throw for a strike.
Right, Norm Cash couldn't handle it. He said after the game, you know, Bob Gibson can thank me for the record. He was number 17, so he had a nice sense of humor about it. 1964, the Yankees and the Cardinals, you were on that Yankee team. You wanted to face off against Bob Gibson, but didn't get the chance.
Well, I wanted to pitch Game 1 in the World Series, because if you pitched Game 1, then you would get 4 and 7. Right. You'd get 3 shots at it. Instead, I got Game 3, but if I had taken either one of my Game 3 or my Game 6 against Gibson in Game 7, we scored 5 runs off him in Game 7. I think we won the Game 7. Cardinals won the Game 7-5, and the most runs they got off me was 3. So I would have been able to win the 7th game.
What might have been. Well, back to the 1968 World Series. As it turns out, the Cardinals won Game 1, but they couldn't win the enchilada as they lost in 7 games to Mickey Lolich and the Tigers. That's the 1968 World Series. Thanks for watching Classic Sports.
This is ESPN Classic, the Classic Sports Network.
This record breaker is the subject of the bonus biography round on Sports Challenge.
This week's Sports Challenge are defending champions, the Bronx Bombers. All-star shortstop Tony Kubek, Hall of Famer Mickey Mantle, and Mr. Perfect Game Don Larson. Meet the challenge of the 1957 World Champion Milwaukee Braves. Record-breaking pitching ace Lou Burdett, Hall of Famer Warren Spahn, and all-time great third baseman Eddie Matthews. And now, here is your Sports Challenge host, Dick Enberg.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Yankees and Braves, and welcome, fans from coast to coast and around the world, to Sports Challenge. So, a rematch of the 1957 World Series, and a great series it was, as the Yankees met the Braves, and the Braves in the 7th game under their manager, Fred Haney, brought the World's Championship to the city in Wisconsin that has supported baseball so well down through the years. Braves look great. And the Yankees, they've been playing well. And Mickey Mantle has just been hitting them out of the park here. You're going to have to watch him. I really didn't know you were that bright in sports trivia.
I didn't either.
Try to relax, though, and enjoy it today, will you, Mickey? We're going to begin our first category rather appropriately. Hall of Famers, and we're going to look at one of the, if not the greatest left-hander of all time, pitching a milestone in baseball history right after this Sports Challenge timeout.
The Outback has finally come to town. Introducing the Subaru Outback Sedan. A completely new kind of car that combines the rugged traction and control of full-time all-wheel drive with a decidedly uptown look.
My kind of town.
Outback Sedan, yet another first from Subaru.
Sam Adams. It's what's inside.
It was tough for a while, though, I gotta be honest. We had debt, a lot of debt. It was really hurting our relationship, and we had about 6 to 8 credit cards going. Just debt up to our
We were just all
ears.
maxed out, and
terrible.
seemed to be no way to get out. So
It was a strain, thanks.
But we did. We got out.
We called a company called Genus Credit Management. They don't make loans because that's the last thing we needed. You gather up your bills, tell them what you pay, and they reduce your payment.
If you have a debt problem, call Genus Credit Management, the nation's largest credit counseling service. We work with your creditors to lower your monthly payments. In just 30 minutes over the phone, we can help you avoid bankruptcy and get the bill collectors off your back. We're nonprofit, so our service is free.
The best part? We don't fight about money anymore.
We just fight about everything else.
There is help, and it's as close as your phone.
Not too bad.
Get your bills together and call Genus Credit Management. It's not a loan, it's a way out of debt.
You know, I'm real excited about the brand new 6 p.m. Sports Center. I just hope they don't feel the need to make a lot of changes and shake things up. Take a lesson from the Flintstones, like when they brought that little green guy Kazoo in. What's up with that?
You're watching Sports Challenge, only on ESPN Classic.
The New York Yankees and the Milwaukee Braves on Sports Challenge. Here we go, in the first category, Hall of Famers. And a milestone in the career of one of our panelists. It's August 1961, and a 40-year-old southpaw is making his way into the baseball history books.
Warren Spahn has given these Milwaukee fans so many great thrills, and in great numbers. A sellout crowd at County Stadium tonight to cheer Spahny on as he goes for his 300th Major League victory against the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs, with a run in the 6th inning, have tied it at 1. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Gino Cimoli up for the Braves. He swings at a Jack Curtis fastball, and it's gone into the left field bleachers. Milwaukee leads 2-1. Spahn now has only 3 outs to go to get his 300th win. 2 away. Up is Jim McEnany. Fly ball to right field. Henry Aaron is there. He's got it, and Warren Spahn has become the first National League pitcher since Grover Cleveland Alexander in 1924 to win 300 Major League games.
Do you remember, Spani, that exit you took off your cap and blew a kiss to the crowd?
How well? You know, you don't forget things like that.
All right, let's see if you can come up with the answer. You're both alive. Toss-up. Hall of Famer Warren Spahn won 363 games in his 21 years. 13 times Spahn won 20 or more in one season, a record for left-handers. An American League left-hander, also a Hall of Fame pitcher, won 300 games lifetime and won 20 or more games in a season 8 times. For 20 points, name that American League. Yes, Lou Burdett.
Early Wynn.
Early Wynn is incorrect. Left-hander now. Wynn did win 300, but we can give a clue to the Yankees. He was with the Philadelphia A's and the Red Sox, and he was known as Old Man Mose. 5 seconds.
Take your time, fellas.
Time is up. Oh, Lefty Grove. Lefty Grove. Robert Moses Grove. No points, so the free throws are played as toss-ups. Here's only 7 moments in the career of a Hall of Fame quarterback in just one football game. It's the Giants and the Redskins, October 1962.
October 1962, Yankee Stadium, New York. The Giants and the Washington Redskins, and Y.A. Tittle to throw, looking for Joe Morrison. Touchdown, 22 yards to Morrison. Yelverton, Abraham Tittle, play action fake to Alex Webster, looking in the end zone for Joe Walton. 5 yards and another Giant score. Tittle has 2, looking for his 3rd. Again, the fake to Webster, roll left, 1-yard toss, touchdown, Morrison. For his 4th, he shows he's not fussy. Tittle to Schaffner, and Schaffner with a great one-handed catch and a touchdown. Tittle has 4.